welcome to episode 101 of the Cat Lady podcast. It is November 19th, 2019. I'm already thinking 2020, so I kind of want to start saying 2020, but no, not yet. So anyways, my name is Andrea, also known as the Cat Lady. That's 2 T's, C-A-T-T, craft all the things. Thank you for checking me out. I'm primarily a knitting, spinning, fiber-related podcast, but also delve into a lot of other crafts. So I do tend to craft all the things. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back and continuing to support me. So let's move in. Let's get in. Podcast news, I have a sweater knit along going with the Reluctant Sisters podcast. So please go to Ravelry and check that out. I've kind of posted things on Instagram and Facebook all over, which is where you can find me. If you're new, you can find me on Instagram as the Cat Lady, Facebook, the Cat Lady Podcast, or I think just the Cat Lady, and Ravelry as the Cat Lady. I'm the Cat Lady pretty much everywhere except for YouTube. I'm Crafty Cat Lady. So, but on Ravelry right now in my group, please come and join my group. You can join into our sweater knit along if you have knit a sweater anytime this year. So starting January 1st of this year all the way through the end of the month, you can enter to win a prize. The prize pictures are also listed on the Ravelry page, so all the information is in Ravelry. Try not to repeat it 100 times. All the notes will be on Ravelry, but yes, you can also go over to the Reluctant Sisters podcast and enter into hers as well. We are running it together, but she's got her prizes, I have my prizes, so enter both so you have a chance to win both prizes. The main prize is going to be a skein of yarn from Cece's Wool, as well as a project bag and DPN holder, which I can show you once I get to that segment. I will let you know what bag I made, and also a giant pom-pom. So yeah, that's all for podcast news. I'd like to do another knit along. I did get some good ideas, so maybe starting next year we can start another knit along. One of them, what that I thought was a good idea, was working on your whips. We all, at least if you're anything like me, you have a good amount of work in progress laying around that should be finished. I really have a problem with, I have OCD, I guess, with getting things done. So I don't like having a lot of whips. So I don't have a ton, but I still have 3 or 4 that are sitting around that I would love to get finished, but of course then something else comes along and I want to cast on something else. So maybe I will go with that, so that'll encourage me to finish my work in progress and can help you as well. So stay tuned for in the new year for another craft along. So on to knitting. So I have some finished objects. So it's been a couple weeks, so I managed to get a decent amount of crafts done in the last couple weeks. So I like this bi-weekly or bi-monthly or every other week recording. It gives me a good chance to get some things done to show off. So I've been working on Christmas ornaments that I give out as teacher gifts and other staff members at school. So I finished, last that you saw I had 3, 6, 7, so now finished this 9-pack. So we have this one, and this one I really like. This is hand spun, and I just love the rustic, and it's red and sparkly, so it's kind of perfect for a Christmas ornament. And I'm gonna have to keep one of those ones for me because I've made these for 3 years now, and I've never kept one for myself. So there is the first batch of 9 that are completed. So I want to tip them over. So lots of Felici in there, and then some patterns, and then Patton's Crochet, and then the hand spun. And then I got more. I'm working on, my goal was to get 2 9-packs. So here is the second pack going. So another one of these red sparkly ones, hand spun, real fuzzy. And then these are also hand spun. And these were a couple of my very first hand spun, so when I first started spinning. So we got a green, and this is very kind of wintry looking, I think, too. The white and kind of greenish sparkle. Another one of these. And this was, the hand spun was not, I didn't have a lot of it. It was kind of not enough to make a full project. And it's a little not spun the best and a little scratchy, so it's really perfect for this. And then this is some scraps from, this is Arnie and Carlos. Boy, I can't remember what the, Regia? Is it Regia? But this was a pair of socks I made with Jen, the Uncreative Crafter, also known as Storm Coast. We made a pair of matching socks, so there's the scraps from that. We got 2 of those. And my attempt here is to make at least 2 of each of the colors that I have. Just because. Again, these are all just leftover scraps. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 15. No. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. 14 done, so pretty good. So I got 4 left in that box, and I think that should be plenty. I really don't have like an ongoing list of who they're going to. I kind of just like give them to the teachers, and then as I'm walking around the school, like last year I gave them to the secretaries and gave them to some of the past teachers that the kids have had, so kind of changes every year. So those are finished and work in progress, really. So another finished project. Everything's sitting in a basket here. So I decided to pull out my loom. Again, it's just one of those plastic wrap looms because I never used it. I bought it like a year ago for clearance, and then I looked up a pattern for a hat. So I made a hat, and I used the 36 peg loom, which said should fit an adult head, and I used bulky yarn, and I made this hat. To be honest, it's a little snug though. I like it, and I guess if I stretch it out enough, I'll wear it. I was originally thinking maybe I would make them for the teachers as well, but they're a little too snug. So, I mean, I kind of just give it a good stretch. I think it's the cast-on edge, if I did a different cast-on. However, this used the whole skein yarn, and it actually didn't finish the pattern. It should have been a little bit bigger. So, but I can get it on my head. It just feels a little snug. And I would put a pom-pom on top. So, I mean, but it looks okay. So I might wear it. I mean, I know it's not going to fall off because I have another bulky hat that is too loose. So this one, at least I know it's going to fit on. And I tried to put on Emily, but she thought it was too tight too, but I think she's just being sensitive. So I'll wear it. I'll put it in my stash. I'll make a pom-pom. Actually, I have kind of a smaller pom-pom. Maybe I'll just use that one. Put that on. I'll make sure I don't have a crazy hat here. Probably do. So yeah, so this is in Lion Brand Hometown yarn. One of my favorite colors. I like this like burgundy wine. So I don't know. Maybe if I had a bigger loom, or maybe I would try a different cast on. So I'm new to the loom scene. So, and I don't feel like it knit up that much faster than if I was to use like needles. So I don't know. I don't know if the hat thing is for me with the loom, but it was fun, something different. But then I kind of want to keep giving it another shot. So now I cast on. I didn't get very far. A pair of boot cuffs. So originally it said to use in the pattern here. It said to use the same loom as this, but this seems like way too wide for a boot cuff. So I went down to the smaller one. Following a different pattern, and I'm using 2 strands of worsted held together. So yeah, it's really not much to see. So stay tuned for that to see how that works out. And I'm just stocking it kind of just all the way around. But this was the pattern in the book here, so not quite doing that one. But I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making up my own thing. I'm just kind of going around until I make a tube and see how it works. And this is using my scrap Karen Simply Soft that I used for my Seclude sweater last year. So we'll see if I even have enough yarn for 2 of them. I don't know. So very experimental. This is not knitting, but it's crochet, and I didn't want to make a whole separate section on crochet. And it's also crochet by hand, so I honestly just pulled the loops with my hand. So I didn't use a hook, so it was like hand crocheted. But I made it's kind of floppy, but I made a cat bed. And don't ask me why. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I stumbled across it, and I stumbled across a YouTube video that was making a cat bed out of, her yarn was thicker, like it was like the same kind of chenille type yarn, but hers was a lot thicker, so it worked up a little quicker. and it was a little stiffer because it was bulkier yarn. But it's cute. And Sadie is already laid in it on her own. I of course shoved both cats in there at one point. But I'll get the picture I took of Sadie this morning. She actually, I came downstairs this morning and she was in there on her own accord. So it might work out. This is Bernat Extra Chunky Blanket Yarn. So yeah, we'll stay tuned. I'll leave it out and see if the cats even use it some more. And if they do, then I might make another one. But if Sadie's the only one that uses it, then I'll just stick with the one. But if I say both cats in them at some point, maybe I'll make a second one. But it's definitely a little more floppier than I'd like. But if you set it out on the floor. But it was kind of fun. And this only took maybe an hour or so. I did it in a couple different sessions, but just kind of crocheted around with my fingers, following a YouTube video that I saw. So I can put the link in the show notes. So that was the yarn-related crafts. Let's say that. Nothing for spinning. I haven't decided what I want to spin. I haven't decided how I want to spin. Sorry, my glasses are dirty. So nothing for spinning. Probably wait till next year to do that as well. So, but Cricut, I have some Cricut projects. So I coach Girls on the Run, and every year we try to make the girls like a little present project. So last year we made these headbands that said "Run Like a Dragon" because we're the Lake Orion Dragons. And then this year we decided, since it was so cold, we would make hats. So we made hats, and to be honest, I'm using standard heat transfer vinyl. You should, for something like the hat, but something that stretches, I should be using stretch vinyl, but I didn't have that. And again, I'm doing this, we're doing this with our own funding and, just for fun gift for kids, so they don't really care that much. So we got some hats, and I put the Cricut, so Girls on the Run, with the heart standing for the O. So each girl had a hat for the race day, including the coaches. We all had our little matching hats, so that was cute. And race day was the last Sunday, so I'll talk about that towards the end of the episode. So I made 15 of those, and then this was my big to-do. So every year I like to make a yarn advent calendar for my mini blanket, or my blanket with mini squares. Usually I wrap them in like little tissue paper and put a number on them. So this year I went a little different, and I'm not done yet, but I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet. But this is what I got. So I made, and this can be reusable. So I made these little like ornament bowls, and each one has a tag with the number on it. So I'm not really OCD, but I'm very particular. Let's say I'm particular. I'm very particular about certain things. So I'm very particular on my blanket squares. Like, ideally, I'm trying not to reuse yarn. Eventually, I might, obviously. But at this point, I don't need to, because I have tons of minis. So I'm trying not to reuse yarn that I've already used. And I'm trying, and I don't know if I tried. I looked, if there's duplicate in there, it's like, if I don't notice, then it's fine. And I try not to put similar colors next to each other. I've noticed in this set of minis, they are all very similar color themed. There's a lot of purple, a lot of pink, a lot of blues. But I'm trying not to put like a blue next to a blue and a pink next to a pink. So I laid up all my yarn. So I don't know what they are because I don't remember, but I know number 13 is what I want in that spot of my blanket. And now the way my blanket's set up, one whole row is 24, so it's perfect. So I will finish one whole row. But yeah, so I have these, and I ran out of ribbon, so they're not all tied, but that means I can show you how one works. So they have the little ball at the top, so I'll have to untie the string, and then you open it up, and there's my little yarn ball inside. And then I can pull it out. And some of them, hopefully I don't break them trying to pull them out. Okay, I bent a little bit. Then I pull out my little yarn ball. Some of them I had to kind of shove in there, so I'll have to be careful to pull them out. And then if I'm careful enough, I can save these. I don't know where I'll store them, and I don't know how to display them. So right now, I might end up just keeping them in here. I don't know. Originally, I was thinking of hanging them somewhere. Like, it would be nice to hang them along here, but we have so much other stuff for Christmas that we hang along the fireplace, so that's not going to work. It's like I could hang them off the wall a little bit. I'm not sure. Or I could just leave them in this bowl, because it is kind of a festive, pretty bowl. But then I gotta like dig through and find my numbers, so that might be too complicated. Because if I hung them on the wall, I would probably put them in order. I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. But then like, I'd have to find out. I'd have to tie them in a way that I can keep them on the wall, so it doesn't look weird that I start taking them down. I don't know. It's a work in progress, but I cut out all these little circles on the Cricut and then glued them all together to make these little balls. And I kept them all like, they're all multicolored but the same color theme, so this is all like purples. You got the oranges, yellows. So it was double-sided craft paper, so I really love how that turned out, but I'm not sure the finishing touches. If you have any ideas, please comment below. Let me know if you have any suggestions. That was it for the Cricut. So sewing, I've done some sewing, which I haven't done sewing in forever, but I know it's getting close to the end of the year, and I don't know, it's like I had that itch to finish these whips, and so I've had these sewing projects that have needed to be done since last year, beginning of the year. I don't even remember when I was working on them. And then some other things I stumbled across that I really wanted to do and try. So first, here is the project bags that I finished. So this one still needs the ribbon. But this is a pretty like rose-colored, kind of flowery fabric. So I need to get the drawstring on that. And then inside is this real pretty like green fan kind of fabric. So this, I think this will be the project bag for the giveaway. I think this actually kind of goes with the yarn a little bit, like kind of the, I don't know, maybe not. For some reason I feel like it matches the yarn a little bit, but, and then a matching, it's like a reverse project or DPN holder. So it's the inside bag fabric is the outside of this, and then the inside is this. So it'll snap closed. So I'm planning on that for the giveaway. And then I have two more of the DPN holders and then another bag here. Which this one has a zipper. Same thing inside. I think so I had a little bit of issue. I think this bag was supposed to be this way for this size zipper. I made this work, obviously. But this was a 12-inch zipper. I think I had to chop some of the side of the bag off because I was putting it on, and I haven't done a zipper bag in a while. So I think I turned it the wrong way. I think it was supposed to be this way so that the zipper, because you're supposed to like leave some excess of the zipper so that it's nice and secured in there. But this worked out, and I forgot the top stitch around the zipper. So yeah, a lot of user errors in this one from not doing this in a while. So I forgot the top stitch around the zipper, but it's fine. I pressed it down with the iron. It seems to be fine. So zippers are challenging. I really like how the bags turn out, but they are a challenge. So I'll just keep this one because there's a lot of mistakes in there. And then I'll keep one of these, and I don't know, maybe I'll probably give away another one of these. I don't need two of the same DPN holders. So those are my project bags. I also made a table runner that I've been needing to make for like a year. So upstairs in my bedroom on my dresser, we have the Millennium Falcon Lego set, like thousands and thousands of pieces one, whatever, the biggest one. And then we have the Disney Castle, and then we have I think the Apollo spaceship, all on my dresser. And Jim's like, you should make a kind of a mat so we can set them on there so they're not scratching the wood. And so we've had just like placemats on there and stuck them on there, and it just looked kind of funky. So I bought all the fabric. I bought this real thick interfacing. I had everything ready to go, but it's a very awkward side. It was like 57 inches by 29 inches. So it's like really big, little unruly size to be sewing on my dining room table because I don't like have a space. And the interfacing is super thick, like stiff. So just trying to get it all together. It was kind of kept putting it off. Well, finally, my husband mentioned it the other day while I had the sewing machine out. I was making these other projects. He's like, "Hey, you still need to make that table runner." said, all right. So yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was. Yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. Getting my days confused here. I pulled it out and I got it done. So yeah, it was like I had to iron all the fabric out, and then I had to iron out, I had to cut it, and then I had to iron the interfacing on, which it's still, I don't feel like it ironed on the best. I mean, it's fine now, it's done. But, and then I had sew it together and top stitch it and whatever. So, but it turned out good. I like it. So I'll put in a picture. Obviously, it's already in its place, so I didn't pull it down. So I put in a picture of that. Where are we in time? I can't see. 20 something. Okay, anyways. So that's that one. And then these were the most like out of left field random projects I could ever come up with, but it's the season of fleece. And I posted a picture of a scrap of this on Instagram, and some people were like, oh, that's I'm interested about the fleece. So I made, time for show and tell here. Try to do this as gracefully as possible. Okay, this is where my head goes. I made a fleece poncho. So, there we go. So it is a poncho with a cowl neck that actually can be pulled up. It's big enough to be pulled up into like kind of a hood. If I was outside in the cold, I could pull it up as a hood. I've worn it a couple times already though. And I wanted something neutral, so I really like this gray plaid. And this is using 2 yards, I think. Can't remember exactly. Yeah, it has to be 2 yards. Yeah, it's 2 yards of fleece. Real simple. I'll link the pattern page. It was from Melly Sews, I think. So super easy. It was really since you don't have to hem fleece, it doesn't fray. It was one place to sew. You just had to cut it out and then sew on the cowl. So super easy. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Emily wants one, so I need to take her shopping to pick out some fleece to make one. So then I don't even know. I think I searched for this. I don't even know. I was looking up projects with fleece, and I had a list of fleece projects. So then I had to do this, and I made this one yesterday as well. This is a snuggie, slanket, whatever you want to call it, but basically your wearable blanket. So you got that going for me. Nice and cozy. Probably could have used maybe another inch or two at the bottom because I'm tall, but it's fine. Especially when I'm laying on the couch, it's fine. So I can look at my phone, read a book while I am cozy in my blanket. And it's got cats all over it. Sleeping kitties. So I thought that was perfect. So there's cat nap on there somewhere. That was cute, and that's and this took 3 yards of fleece. Again, you just had to cut it out and you had to sew in the arms. And of course, I told myself, make sure the arms are not upside down, like the pattern, because the pattern is going a certain way. Obviously, if it was just a solid color or something like this, it wouldn't matter. But this one had a distinct top and bottom. Of course, try not to do it inside out either, because there's words on it that would look backwards. So yeah, I sewed the one arm on, and it all was good. And then I'm like, okay, this is the top. Put it in, pin it all, sew it. That wasn't the top, it was the bottom, and I put it in upside down, so I had to rip it out and then put it in again. But I thought about leaving it. I could just leave it, it's not a big deal, no one's going to notice, but again, I'm particular about these things, so I fixed it, and I'm glad I did. So yeah, I cozied up with that last night, watching some TV, some Disney Plus, and yeah, I haven't showed Emily this because she's probably going to want one of those too. So those were my fleece-tastic projects. Very happy with both of them. And that's all for sewing. which is a lot, actually. That's a lot of sewing for me to do. Oh, shoot. Seeing a tag here. Those ones I'll still need tied on. So I need to get some more ribbon for my little advent bulbs. So on to stash. Not a lot of stash, but like I mentioned, I bought the bulky yarn for the loom hat. Well, I bought 2 extra ones because I thought about making hats for the teachers. I am making the fingerless mitts. I think I'm just going to stick with the mitts, especially now I feel like I'm running out of time. So now I just have 2 skeins of Los Angeles tan in the Hometown USA. I like this stuff. It's fun. I make the hand knit cowls with it. You know, maybe I'll make myself a hat out of it. I'll find use for it, so I'm not too concerned. And then I have another skein of the Bernat blanket extra, just in case I need to make another cat bed. Originally, I wasn't sure if I was going to need 2 bowls. That was, I mean, Sadie's a little big, so when I show you the picture, she kind of has her arms like pushing out. Whereas you saw the picture, or hopefully already. But I wouldn't make it much bigger anyways. I mean, that took 1 skein, so I couldn't really make it much wider, else it would make it shorter. So that's stash. And then I bought some Wonder clips, and they're for sewing. I don't have them, but there's these little clips that you use instead of pins. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. I love them. So I bought 2 packs of those, so I think it's like 20 of them. Fuzzies. So I'm excited about those. Coming up close for 1 second. Okay, good. Looking at my time. So I'm very excited about those. So those have worked really well. I used those for the arms of the Snuggie blanket, and they worked like a charm. I used them for the DPN holders. So yeah, I was like very excited for the new toy because I really hate pins. So I like the clips. I might have to get me another pack. Last but not least, I want to mention another podcast I've been watching. It's a new podcast. She has 3 episodes. It's the Mint Rain Knits podcast. It's Caitlin of Mint Rain Yarn. So she has a hand-dyed yarn store and goes in. She's local in Michigan, so she does a lot of Michigan festivals. So she started a podcast. So I've been watching her podcast, so it's very good. And I will link that in my notes. Life in review. Life is busy, but I managed to craft. Cub Scouts has been busy. So we did scouting for food, which we went around and dropped off bags around the neighborhood. And then the following week, we picked up anybody who left canned goods. So we did that. We've had meetings. We had a meeting last night, and yeah, it's keeping us busy. So, but the kids are enjoying it. We had a date night a couple weeks ago, which was very exciting and out of the ordinary because that doesn't happen very often. Then we went out to a really nice dinner and wandered Barnes and Nobles at the end of the night. So I don't know, it was just nice to spend some time alone with my husband because it's been a long time. Yeah, that's it. So Girls on the Run is wrapping up. This week is our last week. We had our 5K on Sunday a couple days ago, which it was freezing. It was like 27 degrees outside, but you know, it was icy. But everyone was in good spirits. Everyone did well. Everyone finished, so we had a good time. So we didn't really stick around much after. It was kind of like you ran and you left. So and then we went out to lunch with a family member that came to cheer Emily on. So that was cool. It's time for. It's already starting to. Sign-ups already started for spring season, so I already registered as a coach, so we're going to do this again in the spring. I need to get Christmas stuff going. It's like, it's crunch time now. I got to start the teacher gifts, and we're trying to figure out presents for the kids and all that stuff. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up before I get kicked off my camera. Thank you for tuning in. I will be back in a couple weeks, and I look forward to talking to you again, and I hope you get to craft all the things.